Hi, nice to see everyone. This is a quick video based in Pilates, and you don't need any special equipment for it, but you might like to have a pillow. Please know that if you feel any sharp pain during any of the exercises, that you should immediately stop. As long as you're feeling good, we're going to get rolling. So we're going to start just by walking out onto the floor. Most of the work that we're going to be doing today is going to be from the floor. So if you are able to walk your hands down and walk your hands forward, bringing your knees to the floor, you can have a blanket or pillow underneath there for just a moment, but we're really going to slide forward, coming to lay down on the floor. We're going to start first just from simple movements. If you have a pillow for your back of your head for later, that can be helpful too. You can always stop the video now and grab that. When you get back, you can turn it back on. Okay, so from a lying down position, we're going to bend the knees and bring the feet to the mat. Give yourself about hips distance between your feet. From here, we're going to do a simple marching movement. And as you do that, I'd like you to kind of keep your hands right over your belly so that you try not to move too much in your torso. So we're just going to lift the right foot just a tiny bit off the floor, bring it back down, pause, then lift the left foot up off the floor and bring it down. So it's a very simple marching movement, slow and steady. So when we're working with Pilates movements, it's not so much the quantity as the quality of the movement. So even something simple like this can be quite powerful. In fact, if you slide your hands right across your hip crease, you'll notice that your hip flexors are popping up as you do this movement. You'll feel that right underneath your fingers if you're holding your fingers right at your hip crease. In addition, we're beginning to warm up quadriceps in a very simple and easy movement. Your spine is pressing down into the floor and your neck is easy, relaxed, and you can stop. Now, from here, what I'd like to do is just gently hug knees in from behind the thigh and do a gentle rocking motion from side to side. Good. So these movements today that we're doing, not meant to be like powering through them or super difficult. It's really just a way to work your core that is going to feel like you've done some work without driving yourself nuts. From here, let's take a nice stretch. Open your arms out into a T and let your knees fall to one side. Doesn't matter which side because we're going to do both. Your chin can be facing the ceiling or facing away from your knees. Try to make sure that your shoulders are softened into your floor or your mat, and that you're breathing into the ribs that are pointing up towards the ceiling. Hold here, breathe here. And then we're going to press our forearms and hands into the floor as we lift the knees back into center, trying to lift the knees at the same time. So you may have noticed a little effort in the side muscles of your abdomen. From here, let your knees now fall to the other side. Once again, just letting the shoulders soften into the floor. Chin can be facing the ceiling or facing towards the arm away from the legs. Good. So this is just a warm-up. Breath in, breath out. Typically in Pilates, we inhale through the nose and we exhale as if we're blowing out through a straw with pursed lips. So let's take a breath in and press into your hands as you once again exhale, bringing your knees back into center. From here, let's extend the legs long to the floor and bring the feet a little bit wide. Slide your arms up and back behind you. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, we're going to bring the arms forward, draw the chin in towards the collarbone, and begin to dig your heels into the floor as you slowly roll up. Reach your fingertips in the direction of your toes. Take a breath here. Then as you exhale, we're going to slowly and steadily, trying not to collapse down, slowly release back down. Beautiful. Let's do 3 more just like that. Big breath in. As you exhale, you bring your arms forward, draw the chin in, lift up, reaching forward towards the toes, Let the head draw down, breath in. Exhale through those pursed lips as you plug your shoulders back, draw the navel to the spine, and slowly release back down. And again, big breath. Exhale through that straw, plug the navel in, slowly release up, reaching your fingertips towards your toes. Take a breath. And then once again, as you exhale without collapsing down, we're going to slowly release back down. We're going to do one more. Now, did you notice as you're doing this, it began to get a little bit easier. Big breath. As you exhale, plug the navel to the spine, slowly roll up. Maybe your heels stop lifting up quite so high. Big breath here and exhale. We're going to come to sit up super tall on our sitting bones. So from here, we're going to bring the arms out into a T from the side and take a breath, getting super tall. As you exhale, we're going to cross, touching opposite fingertips to toes. Inhale back up, super tall, and exhale to the other side. Inhale again, super tall. Exhale, over. Inhale on those sitting bones. Exhale, crisscross. Let's do 3 more on each side. Inhaling up, exhale, cross. Inhale up, exhale, cross. Inhale up, exhale. One more time each side. Beautiful. Let's come back to bring the knees to bend and the feet back to the mat. Head is on the floor. You can always have a little towel or blanket behind your head, but nothing too high. We want to keep the neck in a pretty neutral position. Now, through all of our Pilates work, we want to engage through the core. So if you grab that pillow that I asked you to take and bring that between your knees, take a moment just to squeeze the pillow, like as hard as you can between the knees. And as you do that, you may notice that you feel like your lower abdominal muscles are getting a little contracted and that your gluteal muscles are becoming contracted. I can promise you that if you're squeezing pretty tight, you're actually working very hard through your pelvic floor. So if you're working hard through the pelvic floor and you pull up into your navel by drawing the navel to the spine, then you've got that Pilates core that we want. Then when you inhale, you're kind of inhaling into the side of your body. And as you're exhaling, slow, steady stream through pursed lips. Okay, so now we take the pillow out. Can you imagine that you're squeezing that pillow still, even though it's no longer there? Don't actually want to move your legs, but you just want to feel like you're squeezing, firing up those glutes, firing up the lower abs into the middle by pulling the navel to the spine. Okay, so now from here, we're going to lift the right knee all the way up and kick the right foot up, bring the right foot down and then to the floor. Then the left side, lifting the knee, kicking the foot up, bending the knee, foot back down. So while you're doing this, you want to make sure you're not rocking from side to side. So remember, super engaged core, right knee up, kick the foot up, bend the knee, foot down. Left knee up, kick, bend, down. Right side, kick, bend, down. Left side, up, kick, bend, down. One more each side. Up, kick, bend, down. Left, up, bend, down. Beautiful. Take a second to relax. Bring your knees together, step your feet wide, and rock the knees in a windshield wiper variation. Good. So we're not doing anything with equipment except for the pillow today. So we're going to lift the knees now into what we call in Pilates a table position. So knees are right over your hips. And right now the toes are going to be just flexed. Once again, find that super contracted place. We want to press the spine downward. We're going to tap the right toes to the floor and then bring it back up. Then the left toes to the floor and bring it back up. So right side, left side, If you start to get crampy in your toes, you can always tap down with your heel instead. Good. Still alternating from side to side. And once again, trying very hard to keep that core contracted. Let that be helpful by breathing out through that pursed lips. Good. Always pressing downward with the spine and pulling the navel towards the spine. Beautiful. Let's take a quick break, hugging the knees in. Let's slide the hands behind the thigh to do that and take a little circular movement at the ankles. Nice. Okay, so now we're going to make that just a little bit harder. Same position to start, pressing downward, but now we're going to straighten the right leg and almost touch it to the floor and then bring it back. Then the left heel will reach forward, almost touching the floor and bringing it back. And we'll keep alternating. Make sure you're exhaling like you're blowing out through a straw. Beautiful. Let's do one more on each side. And then, once again, hug the knees in. Take a little break. If you need to, you might do your windshield wiper again. Remember, it's really important that you follow what you're feeling in your body. You can always stop the video and take a break. Now, we're going to move into knees in. So the movement here, we're going to bring the knees back in to our table position, and we draw the chin in towards the collarbone as if we were holding a grapefruit between the collarbone and the chin. Now here's where you might want your pillow, because you may start to feel a little bit of strain going across the front of your neck. Well, that strain is muscle work, right? And we kind of want that, but it may get to the point where it just feels uncomfortable to be there and still keep doing the activity. Now we'll bring the hands to the outside of the right leg and extend the left leg long. Inhale and begin to alternate. Exhale, continue to alternate. So we're not moving with the breath, we're just inhaling and exhaling as we need to, and we keep moving in this knees in work. Good. I hope that you're beginning to feel this in your lower abdominals as you move from side to side and pull the navel to the spine and continue to feel as if you were squeezing that pillow, even though obviously the pillow is not there. Good. Let's do two more on each side. And then once again, bring it down. And I'm going to move the pillow off to the side and bring my head back down to the mat and take a moment just to rock the head from side to side. Good. All right, the next thing we're going to do is a classic in Pilates. It's called 100s. Now, I'm not very good at math, as many people know. So instead of doing 100 of the next exercise, we're going to do 3 rounds of 10. Here's where we're going to be. We're going to bring the knees back into our tabletop position. We're going to bring that grapefruit again between the collarbone and chin, and we're going to bring the arms right alongside. Now, my fingertips are really reaching forward, and I'm going to pulse. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and take a quick break. Okay? Then we're going to set up again. Collarbone, knees, hands, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Again, take a quick break. Breathe. And then set up one more time. Chin in and 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we'll bring it down. Beautiful. Take a quick moment just to rock the head again from side to side. And from here, we're going to move on into some things from what we call a prone position or face down position. Let's start with our hands and knees. We're going to do what we call fire hydrant. So this is a pretty simple exercise and it works really nicely for our hips. From here, we're gonna bring our hands right underneath our shoulders. Push the floor away, let your neck be long. I'm gonna take my right knee out to the side and lower down. Then I'm gonna take my left knee out to the side and lower down. So literally a hydrant, right? You can picture a puppy getting up next to a hydrant and lifting its leg. So we're doing the same thing, right? From another angle, lifting the knee, down. Other side, down. I think the best angle is the one that I was doing at first. Lifting the knee and down. Lifting the knee and down. Okay, so getting some movement here. Some things to pay attention to is you want to make sure that you're not arching at your spine, right? We want to be in a neutral spine, so that's something important here. And way to achieve that is by, once again, pushing the floor away, lengthening at the neck, pulling the navel in, and working from there. Good. Let's do 2 more on each side. Great. Now from here, we're going to come to a lying down position, face down. Here, what I'd like you to do is reach your arms forward. So kind of like, think about being in a swimming pool and you're in the water. We're gonna lift the right arm, left leg up and then lower down. And then the left arm, left arm, right leg, and lower down. So we're doing a contralateral movement, right arm, left leg, left arm, right leg. And as you're doing this, I want you to be looking down at the floor so your neck is long. Now, you may start to feel a little distress in your lower back, and we certainly don't want that. What we want to do to prevent that is to squeeze your glutes really tight. So remember that pillow that you were squeezing before. I want you to squeeze that imaginary pillow super tight and then move from there, lifting the right arm, left leg, left arm, right leg. You may also notice that it has the added benefit of firing up your glutes more, which is always good. And also, maybe that travels down your leg a little into your hamstrings. Good. Make sure that your head is not lifted. So I know you're probably looking at the screen, but when you do this on your own, try to look down so that your neck is long and you're not straining at the neck. Okay, from here, we're going to take that and sit back, if possible, into a child's pose. So a child's pose, knees are together, and we reach back to sit on the heels. Now, you may or may not bring your head down towards the floor. So if you don't reach the floor, you can always stack your fists one on top of the other and rest your forehead there. Another thing too is that you may not actually be able to get your seat back this far, which is also fine. So instead, just come back to lie down on the mat, face down, turn your head to one side, and just do a little gentle rocking motion from side to side. Breathing in and breathing out. Good. We're going to come back to another really important Pilates exercise. And it's not just in Pilates, it's used in lots of PT. I certainly use this with a lot of clients myself when I'm doing personal training with them, which we're also doing online. This is called a clamshell. So if you've ever had an injury here or you've had any physical therapy for this area for your hip, you've done these before. This is how I like to set them up. We're going to use the arm as the pillow. So my upper arm, I'm lying, bring my ear against that upper arm. I'm going to bring my knees so they're parallel to my hips, like a 90-degree angle to the hip. I'm going to bring my heels together with my toes apart, and I'm going to place my hand where my thigh and buttock meet. This is close to where the piriformis is. We're going to lift and lower the top knee only. This is a simple variation. Once again, no equipment needed, and you would continue to do this until you feel like you can't any longer, maybe 15 to 20 times. And then, of course, you'll turn to do it on the other side. Things to pay attention to while you're doing this is you want to make sure that you're not rocking at your hip. because there's nothing wrong with rocking at your hip, except that it's not then doing what we're trying to do here. It's going to take away from working the muscles that you feel moving underneath your hand. That's why I have you place your hand to where your thigh and buttock meet, so that you can feel the muscle activity. And that way you know that you're doing the activity correctly. Let's move to the other side. So from here, you can just roll to your other side so you can see me. I'm obviously just moving so you can see me better. Once again, using the upper arm. I know a lot of people do it like this, which I call the 1930s movie star pose, but I really don't like that because look what it does to my neck. It's not a neutral place for my neck, and I'm probably not staying very contracted through my core. So that's easier to do from this, keeping the neck in a more neutral place. Of course, if you want to use your pillow here, you could use the pillow. That'll also keep you more in neutral. All right, so we're going to be in this lying down position. Knees come about to the height of your hips, heels together, toes apart. Once again, hand where the thigh and buttock meet, and we lift and lower that knee. We're going to do as many as we did on the other side. And you may notice from one side to the other that things feel a little bit different. That's totally normal. Our hips are not even to each other. Asymmetries exist in the body in lots of ways. Our heart's usually a little bit more to the left side, for example. We have 3 lobes of lung on the right side and only 2 on the left side. So lots of natural asymmetries occur in the body. So one side from one hip may feel different from the other side. Nothing to worry about. Good. Okay, then from here we're going to release that. And we're going to do some bridges. So bridge, very simple activity. We're going to bring the ankles so that they're underneath the knees. Now you may have something going on with your knee that prevents you from bringing your foot that close to you. So you'll have to see, because if your feet are too far forward, you have a tendency to create a hamstring cramp. On the flip side, you don't want your heels so close to you, common mistake that I see, because then your knee is too far forward and that's an unstable place for your knee. So you really want to just bring your ankles right underneath your knees as best as possible. Here, nothing behind the head, okay? Because once we lift up into bridge, we'll get a little too much extension at the neck with some pressure on the neck, and we don't want that. All right, so very simple. Let's take a breath in. As you exhale, we're going to lift up into bridge. Now, I just lift straight up into bridge, which is kind of my preference personally. Let's keep it like that for today. We can talk about other kinds of bridges another time. Big breath in, and then exhale, we're gonna lower straight down. Okay, we're gonna do that 2 more times. So we'll take a breath in, exhale, we're gonna lift the hips. I want you to find, as best as possible, one long line from knee to hip to shoulder, and then release back down. And then one more time, taking a breath in, and exhale, we lift up, we hold, we squeeze. Remember the imaginary pillow, taking another breath, and then exhale and release. We're gonna hug the knees back in one more time and hold from behind the thigh and let your feet dangle down. As you do that, a little gentle rocking motion from side to side, just to get a nice sort of self-massage on the lower back. Then from here, we're gonna roll to one side. We'll come back into our table position. Now, if you feel comfortable lifting up into a downward facing dog pose, which is also known as pike in yoga, then you can do that. If you do not feel comfortable, I'm going to demonstrate to you how you can get up off the floor without using a chair, but without coming into down dog. So I'm going to ask you to bring the foot that you think, the leg that you think is less strong. I'm going to say it's my left leg. So I'm going to bring my left foot forward. Now my right leg presumably is a little stronger than my left leg. So I'm going to tuck my right toes under, and I'm going to lift my right knee off the floor. Now my feet are nice and wide. I'm going to turn my right toes a little bit and walk my hands in between my feet. Now both of my feet, the toes now are turned in the same direction. And now I can slowly walk my hands up my legs until I'm standing. And here you go. A little snippet of Pilates for you from me and Asphalt Green. I hope you're all staying happy, healthy, and well, and we're hoping to see you very soon at the gym. Take care. Bye.